everyone, to another benefit of the Doud Podcast episode, YouTube channel, video thing. I am your host, Adam Doud, and joining me, as always, is co-host Cliff. Cliff, what's up, brother?
Feeling very festive. Loving this
Yeah.
time of the year. Ready to talk
Oh,
about
yeah. Yeah, sure.
some stuff.
Yeah, and if you're tuning into this on the day that it publishes, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, then a very festive Monday to you, if I may wish you so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is, Cliff and I are good Gentiles, so we celebrate the Christmas holiday, and as such, we are doing a podcast episode in order to celebrate the celebratedness of the holidays. And
Of which we
this year,
celebrate.
of which we celebrate. And this year we're taking a slightly different tack than what we did last year because, whatever. And so what we wanted to talk about today was a sort of collection of kind of EDCs and things that we're using kind of like on the regulars, not necessarily all tech. But just stuff that we have found over the year to be useful.
Like
So,
tech or tech
yeah,
adjacent.
tech adjacent. Tech adjacent, I think, is a solid way to put it. So, Cliff, do you want to take the honors
Yeah.
and
That's like
lead us off here?
it's always hard to do a holiday episode because some people do like a clip show, right? And some people
Yeah.
gags, bloopers, all that kind of thing. And maybe that's something we'll do at some point, but not
Yeah.
this time. So yeah,
Not
I
this
just
time.
kind of sat down and scratched my sparse goatee and thought, what are things that we're not necessarily going to review on the channel, but maybe things that
Hmm.
you as the viewer might find useful. The first one I'm
Right.
going to talk about actually is from a company that, if you like tools, you probably have heard of them. That's Channel Lock, and
Okay.
this is a ratcheting screwdriver, which you might be wondering, why would you need that? Well, here's the thing: sometimes it's nice to have a little assistance that you're not having to kill your wrist when you're
Right.
screwing things, right? So this actually has the ability to save you a little bit of that by taking some of the load off of your wrist, and then you can actually lock it down. You can actually hear clickies
Heyo.
for
Yeah.
different levels of, kind of like using a drill where it's got the neck on it, so you can adjust the amount of
Yeah.
assistance that it gives you all the way down to completely locked down. But what
Oh,
makes
okay.
this really
Cool.
nice, and it's something, the reason I keep it in my bag, you may notice there is no no bit in it right now, but it has, let's see if I can do this, a little secret hidden compartment that
Hmm.
has different
Oh, and it
bits, that it's
rotates too.
double
That's
sided.
fun.
Yeah, see? Just the lack of that. And it
So is
has
that like
everything.
oh, I was gonna say, so is that like looks like 12 bits altogether,
Let's
18,
see.
16, something?
One, two, let's see. It feels like 6 or 7. So yeah, between 14 and 18, something like
Yeah,
that.
so going yeah.
So if I
Cool.
spin it
All right.
around here, so I bet
Mm-hmm.
this is fixed focus. So if I try to put it close to the camera, it's just going to be blurry.
Yeah, we're
But
not
you've got
gonna do that.
everything from your standard Phillips head and flathead to Torx. So if you're ever working on like a computer or something like that, or if you have just to open it, I know Apple is a big fan of doing that.
Yeah.
This has torque heads, so you just pop it open, take it out, stick it in there, and it is dual sided.
Beauty.
Yeah, a beauty. So the nice thing about this is, if you buy a decent set of screwdrivers, it's usually, even bargain basement is going to be $20. It's going to give you all the different heads that
Sure.
this has. This is all in one. And even though it's channel lock, this is only $35 ish on Amazon. I believe that's what I paid for it. So
Okay. And
nice,
there will be a
nice.
link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, exactly. So don't quote me on the price because it could have changed since I bought it, but I believe that's about what I paid for it. So really
Okay.
something that's great to have around the house, or in my case, to carry in my backpack O tech. And I have it in there in the same reason, for the same way that I have like a USB-C to USB-C cable that's capable of doing power. Just the things that you might need if you're out somewhere and somebody needs a tool. If you need a tool, if you just have something fall apart, it's great to have that hanging around. So channel lock,
Sure.
ratcheting screwdriver, very useful,
Sh-
and I use it all the time.
Nice, nice. And this year, actually, I intentionally added to my Christmas list a Swiss Army knife because
Mm,
I want to start carrying one around again. I used to carry like a Leatherman multi tool with me everywhere. That just got to be a little bit much. So, like, I want to see. I'm hoping I get the Swiss Army knife so I can just have that in my pocket and slip it out. And if
pocketable. Right.
something needs to be fixed up or whittled or something, I'll have that at my disposal.
I'll
But
tell you
yeah.
where I used the Leatherman the most. I back in the early 2000s. I worked electronics retail, which probably is what started me on the path to talking about stuff like we talk about, right? And
Yeah.
I would keep a Leatherman on my belt. So I looked like a complete dork, but I didn't care because what I had all the time, I worked in the section that sold like tons of things in blister packs, like batteries, like watch batteries and things like that. And people would come to me
Mhm.
all the time and say, "Oh, I can't get this open. Can you open it for me?" Or I want to take a look at all those kind of things. And I had my Leatherman, so I just go snick, take it out,
Yep.
cut something. It even had like snips. Just it's a great thing to carry around. So yeah, I definitely understand wanting to have a Swiss Army knife because Leatherman's or that
A little
style
bit
of
bulky.
tool very bulky. Yes,
Yeah.
the Swiss Army knife is definitely pocketable.
Well, and it's funny because I used to one of my common catchphrases back then was everybody asked me why I carry a Leatherman around, and then they asked me to borrow it.
Right.
you know?
Right. The same reason that
So
if you have that versatile tool in your shed, and then it's kind of like I always look at it in the same way. Like I don't really want a pool because I don't really want to have to deal with the cleaning of it, the keeping the pH balance and everything. But it is really
yeah.
nice to know
Yeah.
somebody who has a pool. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so
Exactly.
you're
Exactly.
the pool guy except tool.
Right, exactly. So, okay, I'm gonna take that as a thing to move on to.
Sure,
So I'm gonna start off with this is kind of an EDC for me. This has been my phone case for about 3 weeks now.
Adam.
This
Adam,
is
that is not a phone case. That is a book.
no, it is not because you can see the triple cameras on the
Oh
back of the
yeah.
phone. This
Huh.
is indeed a phone case. This is the phone case from 12 South. Michael
Makes
Fisher had a
sense.
video on he did a roundup of accessories he wished Android had, and
Hmm.
this was one of them. And I'm like, oh, I need to get my hands on that. So it is leather on both sides, along with this binding, which it just says book on there, so it's very appropriately named. And it opens up. You've got card holders. You can
Hmm.
hold 4 cards in here. There's also like a little money pouch if you carry cash. Um, and
Cash. What's that?
I know. And then one of my favorite parts is that the phone stays in here with MagSafe, so
Ah.
that like if I want to, pop my phone onto a MagSafe charger, I can do that. And this is also leather, which is nice. So I really dig this. I really dig this phone case. Um, there are a couple of minor foibles about it. I think this part of the phone case is about a millimeter or two too
Hmm.
thin because like it feels like even the slightest amount of pressure on a button pushes it. And so like there's been a couple of times that I'll be like listening to a podcast and it's suddenly getting louder and louder and louder and I
Yes.
have no idea why it's getting so loud. And it's because like the volume button gets pushed inside the case, which is a little annoying. Another little minor thing about it is it doesn't grab onto MagSafe as much as I would like it to. Like I
Hmm.
think the back might just be a little bit too thick, so it's sometimes hard to find that sweet spot where it'll start to charge.
Well, hopefully it doesn't.
But overall,
Hopefully it
I have
doesn't fall out of your case out of the secondary part of the case. Then, or is it just more of like a
no,
charging
no, it
thing?
doesn't. It is very
Okay.
securely in there. Yeah, it's just on chargers.
Hmm.
But it has a little magnetic enclosure on the side here. I dig it, and I wish, and I don't know if there is any way to do this or not, to be honest. But like, there are a lot of times that I'll put my phone away and like I'll flip the case closed, and I can see that the phone screen is still on, and I wish there was a way to like
Oh,
trigger that so that it turns
yeah.
off. Maybe that's an Apple thing that they need to do. I don't know.
Well, it's funny
But yeah,
if you use like the iPad version of those. I have not owned one from 12 South from a book case, but I've owned one from Dodo case. Very
okay.
similar. in terms of the style, and iPads since inception, along with I think a few other tablets too. But I had that like magnetic catch, so when you close it, it also turns off the screen.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I guess because Apple doesn't actually make an accessory like that for it themselves, they don't include it with for the
Yeah,
iPhone. That they don't include it in the iPhone. So yeah, that maybe
exactly.
that's something that yeah,
And
you would think that the at least like the light, I forget what it's called now, but basically that detects
the
it.
light
The
sensor,
light
yeah,
sensor
the
would
ambient
go,
light sensor.
maybe I should turn that off now.
You'd think, but no. And I'm gonna double up. Actually, I think I'm gonna double up on all of mine, FYI. But also from 12 South, they sent me this adorable little
Mm,
MagSafe charger. This is a MagSafe travel charger. You open it up, and it has a watch over here and a MagSafe connection over here. The watch part actually pops up, so you can sit
mm-hmm.
it flat on a table, but it's magnetic, so it just stays closed like that. Or when you flip it around, it stays open like that. If you want to do like one at a time, you can charge your watch, or you can charge your phone, or you can pop this on the back of your phone. And while you're charging your phone, it also kind of works as like a stand.
Hmm.
So it's really cool. I mean, this is just adorable, and
I
I
wonder,
love it to death.
does it do like a pass through charging when it's like that for
I,
MagSafe?
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the point.
Huh.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
That's the point. Is you can connect it as MagSafe and charge your phone, and then it'll also act as a stand. So I
Gotcha.
just adore this thing. It is tiny and adorable,
And
and I love
and
it.
the
And
good
it's been
thing,
great.
because it is 12 South, you're only going to spend several $100s to get both of
Right,
those.
exactly, exactly. No, I want to say like the case is like 80, so it's on the high side. But I mean, it's leather. I mean, like, what do you want?
Yeah.
It's leather, and it's solid. It checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah,
So,
if you
and
want
then
to feel like Ron Burgundy with fine leather-bound books, that is the way to
right.
go.
Well, and I don't think I need to point out that Michael Fisher is also quite the fan of the leather feel for
Mm,
his
definitely.
his various phones and whatnot. So I really dig this guy, and I don't know how much the charger is off the top of my head,
When I saw it, it was
but
either 99 or 129. It was something like
that
that.
that wouldn't surprise me. But you'll see this charger coming up in a Forbes roundup next month.
Very
So
cool.
that's why I picked it up.
Yeah,
So but
I
yeah.
dig the design of both of those. 12th South, whether it's their like the riser stand that they make for like MacBook Pros, their mobile accessories, all of it. I mean, yes, it is on the pricier side, but I mean, you definitely are getting what you pay for in terms of like materials, build quality,
Mhm.
design. So yeah, those are very
Yeah,
cool.
it's called the Butterfly, by the way, the
Mm,
Butterfly
okay.
MagSafe charger, and it is $129. So and actually for like MagSafe compatible charging stations, that's in the ballpark. It's
Yeah,
a little on
yeah,
the high
it
side
is.
of the ballpark, but that's in the ballpark.
But you're paying for the
So
portability of it as well. I mean, it's
yeah.
versatile, it's portable, and it also, I mean, the design of it is very cool. That's actually when I saw that, I saw it advertised somewhere. I don't know if it was just like one of those Instagram. It just pops up and said, "Hey, you've got an iPhone. Check out this." But
Hmm.
I saw that you rocking the book, and I actually asked you if they had sent that to you because I knew it was new, and you were yes. So yeah, it's something I would consider for
I
sure.
am such a MagSafe whore. I mean,
You are.
I'm unashamed, really.
I
I am
told
unashamed.
Adam that if he when he's buried that they're gonna bury him with gaffer's tape, and I'm also gonna say now with a bunch of MagSafe accessories. Yeah,
So yeah, MagSafe chargers, MagSafe accessories, absolutely. I think they're actually just going to MagSafe me into the coffin. They'll just like attach
your
some
arms
a
strapped
circle of
like this with
magnets.
gaffer's tape.
So it'll like chick, like that. It'll be great.
You can charge this
So all right,
cadaver wirelessly.
let's toss it on back over to you there, Cliff. What's up next for you?
That got really dark really fast. Sorry about that, but actually,
It did. It did. The
Christmas
podcast took a turn.
is. I listen to a lot of paranormal podcasts, just as an aside, and Christmas is actually one of the darker holidays in terms of the way it was celebrated. In fact, some say that it is a darker holiday than Halloween in terms of ghosts and things like that. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, look at A Christmas Carol, three
Yep.
ghosts,
Yep.
death, lots of things.
Lots
Anyway,
of it.
so
Yeah.
speaking of things that are nearly dead, this is actually something else. It's actually dead in several ways. These are the Logitech, or now Logitech, but these are the Blue Ella. And you can
Okay.
see these are circumaural, meaning over the ear, closed
Yeah.
back headphones, audiophile, definitely what I would call audiophile headphones, not
Okay.
wireless in any way, shape, or form. But they have a built in amp as
Okay.
well. But what makes these between the audiophile grade amp that they have built in, they also are planar. I'm not sure. I'm again no audiophile, so I you know if I'm saying this wrong, you can tell me in the comments. But
Yes. Comment
planar
down below.
magnetic headphones. Now these when they came
Cliff at
out, if
benefitofadoubt.com. I'm
right
just
there
kidding.
you go. Uh, we can you can tell me how to pronounce it correctly. All you audiophiles out there that watch our show, thank you. Uh, these are planar magnetic headphones, which
Hmm.
I won't explain the tech because I'm not exactly sure how it works. All I can tell you is that they sound freaking amazing. These are my
Nice.
first pair, and I actually messaged you when I got these in, and I'm like, holy crap, I need to send these to you. These sound amazing. Uh, so here's the thing, Blue in the last like 2 years, that company that you probably know most for their microphones more so than their
Hmm.
headphones. The Yeti being the one that's really popular.
Right.
That company was purchased by Logitech,
Okay.
and so these are I think Logitech for creators is actually like the portion of the company that is like Blue stuff now. Is trying to phase out the Blue branding and
Right.
phase in Yeti as like the
We
leading.
won't let them. Urgh.
Well, and Yeti is like the sub brand now for all of their microphones and such. So there's like
Right.
4 or 5 different Yeti headphones. So these are being closed out. Originally were like $6.99, $5.99 when they came out, and I got these for around $120.
Wow.
These for $120 are amazing. You can find them out there, and I mean, I think I got these from Second Dippity, but they were
Okay.
brand new. Second Dippity, typically you're buying stuff that's refurbished. They do a
Mm.
lot.
Okay.
They're one of those companies that does a lot of like electronics recycling, but these are brand
Mm.
new, on closeout. The only thing that's sort of a letdown is, but because they came out about 5 years ago, they are charged through micro USB, so you'll have
Oof.
to carry that extra
Okay.
cable. But other than that, I
Yeah.
mean, no downside to these except for the fact that because they are wired headphones, and that they charge via micro USB. I mean, a lot of things just don't have outputs anymore for 3.5 millimeter
Right.
jacks, right? So
Yeah.
but plug these into your laptop. Most laptops still have that, including, to my knowledge, like at least MacBook Pros do. I don't know about the MacBook, but totally worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that as long as you can still find a micro USB cable in 20 years, these should still be your go-to headphones for listening to music if you really care about the quality of sound. And at 120 bucks,
Nice.
they're steel. They really are. They sound so good. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, yeah.
hey,
Go ahead.
I'm honestly
Sorry.
like mind blowing. I was just like, I mean, my face was probably like, as
Wow.
yeah, I know that kind of thing as I was listening to him. It really, I mean, you just hear things in songs that you haven't heard before because of the detail, the balanced sound, especially with the amp on. So, alrighty,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I will see your blue headphones and I
Oh,
will
you bastard.
raise you. I will raise you a pair of headphones that I honestly did not think I would enjoy,
Mm,
but here we are. I'm talking about the AirPods Max, and but more like I just got these the other day. I mean, I think literally
that
yesterday, the
looks
day
like a
before.
merce to me.
It is a Merce. It is a Merce. Don't you remember the dumbass case that comes with these
Yes,
things?
yes.
But yeah. So these are the AirPods Max, but what I've been using more regularly are the AirPods Pro.
Ah,
And the AirPods, so like I have a very long-standing feud against AirPods, and that's because for the longest time the only form factor they had were these like speakers that you hook on your ear and they scream into your ear. so that you can hear what you want to listen
Yeah,
to.
they're not Canal
The
headphones.
AirPods
They are
Pro,
just they just kind of sit in there.
yeah, the AirPods Pro, however, have the silicone tips that go into your ears, and like I think what I've enjoyed most is they still have the squeeze gesture, which I hate. I've gone on record to saying I hate the squeeze gesture, and I do hate it on these. But um, they also have the swipe up and down on the stalks to change the volume, which is cool. And they have access to Siri, which I know you were saying you were not a fan of. Like right before we went online, you were talking about how you were trying to use Siri in your car, and it was terrible. But like, there is something just really compelling about just wearing these earpods
Hmm.
and walking through the store and saying, "Siri, call my wife," and before you know it, you're talking to your wife on your
Hmm.
phone. And then combine these with the Apple Watch and my normal watch face. I don't have it on my normal watch face right now because it's the weekend, but my normal watch face has a Pocket Cast logo on it, so I can launch Pocket Cast from my watch and hit play, and it just comes straight to the AirPods, which is
Well,
so nice,
it's
and it's
like
really
it's
cool.
like it's like we've said a million times. I mean, when you buy into the Apple ecosystem, you use their products together. I mean, and everybody, I think that's a fan of tech will acknowledge this,
Hmm.
whether you like Apple or not. It just works really well together,
It
and
does,
that's
and
the case with those.
what's really nice is since I've actually used a couple of different um, iPads. I forgot what the tablets were called for a second there. I've used a couple of different iPads. I've got my 10.2, 10th, 10th, ninth generation, whatever it is. No, the ninth generation, because the 10th generation is the one with the USB C. Anyway, I've got that one, and I've got the iPad mini that I use. And these just move seamlessly in between them. I've
Yeah,
only had to set them up on my iPhone, and yet they work on both of my iPads without even me really thinking about it, which is pretty cool. There are some scenarios where you can be like listening to media on an iPad and like you get a phone call from the phone that's a little disorienting because you have to like it switches over the audio without like really warning you. But
right.
other than that, like they sound good. They're not the best sounding. The active noise cancellation is quite good.
I've heard
Um,
that. No pun intended.
but like I was saying with the book case, like I'll be listening and suddenly the volume will be getting louder and louder and louder, and I'll have no idea why. But yeah, but overall, like I've really been enjoying these AirPods Pro. We will never review these on the channel, I don't think, but
Yeah.
there is a comparison piece coming to Forbes next month, and I think I might be saying that quite a bit. Uh, but anyway, so yeah, that's kind of me. And then like I haven't been using these more than for like a day, but so I can't really speak to them just yet. They're not as amazing as I thought they would be, to be honest. But they're I don't know they're not worth the $500 that they
Have you
cost.
have you
But
used the space? Have you listened to any music? Which I guess you would actually have to be using Apple Music in order to really experience that.
which
But
I have a 6 month subscription for now.
spatial audio, like music that's
So
mixed for that.
that's another thing. That's another thing about the AirPods is um I don't know if this is spatial audio or not, but there have been a couple of times when I've been watching like a movie on my iPad, and I don't know what it is, but I've never run into this with any other set of earbuds. It sounds like the sound is coming from the iPad,
Huh.
but it's actually in your air, like it's actually in the AirPods, and so you're like, it's not to the point where like when you turn your head like the sound is only coming from the left or you turn like it's
Right.
not to that extent, but for whatever reason, like there was one time I was sitting at the kitchen table and I was watching a movie and I'm just like, oh man, this is really loud, can people hear this? And so like I took the AirPods out and you couldn't, and I'm just like, whoa, I totally thought that was coming from the iPad. And there have been
That's
a couple
crazy.
of situations when like that happens. And I want to say it's just the soundstage on the AirPods, that because they control, because Apple controls everything, you know,
Right. Right.
from soup to nuts. So I'm thinking that's just a feature of that, but and it can be a little bit disorienting, but it's actually also really kind of cool.
You know, something I've always wondered: where does the phrase "soup to nuts" come from? What does that mean? I mean, I understand what it means contextually, but like, what? Where did that come from originally? I mean, who has
I
gone
don't
from
know.
soup to nuts? Like, are you eating soup and then going out picking nuts off it? Never mind. I just, it's one of those things. Sometimes I love etymology, the origin of words, things like that. But then, and the origin
Right.
of phrases, and I haven't been able to figure out the soup to nuts one.
From the order of courses
Comment.
in a formal full course dinner, which typically begins with soup and ends with a
Oh,
dessert, such as nuts.
huh. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Google.
Dun, 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 dun.
But anyway, why don't we go ahead and kick it on
Yeah.
over back to you?
So I brought out a couple of different things, and I wasn't sure what my third thing would be, but I'm gonna bring it back to mobile for myself because the other two things were,
Okay.
you know, less, well, I mean, sort of tech, but sort of, again,
Yeah.
tech adjacent, or especially with the screwdriver. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm going to talk about, this is the Pixel 8, which
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to review. It doesn't make any sense to review for our channel because the phone's been out for 6 months now,
No, but we
five.
should have some special content coming out around the
Very
Pixel
true.
8 sometime in the not too distant future.
Very true.
Spoiler
And
alert.
that's the reason that I'm using this, actually, because as of right now, have not purchased a Pixel 8.
Well, you
and
have.
and the
Just hasn't shown
uh
up yet.
right, exactly, but
Oh,
so
trust me, they got your money.
so Adam's editor at Forbes was kind enough to, Forbes vetted, I should say, Forbes vetted,
Yep.
was kind enough to loan me her Pixel 8 temporarily so that
Shout out to
I could.
Rebecca. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, I've been using the Pixel 8 as my main Android phone. That's such a silly thing to say because I also have an iPhone. My main
It really is.
Android phone. Talk about spoiled. But so I guess this has been in my hands for like 3 weeks, something like that,
Yeah.
maybe a month
Yeah,
now.
about that.
Very impressed. And you know what? First of all, I gotta say, using this phone, just because, what is this, a 6.1 inch or 6.3 inch, or 6.2, somewhere in there,
I
for
think
the
it's a
display.
6.3 because I
Three.
believe the
Okay.
7A is 6.1.
6.1, or
So,
is it the reverse? I don't know, but about the same size as my iPhone 15 Pro,
right.
and it is so nice to
Oh, we
kind
were
of be
both
living
wrong.
in that
6.2.
6.2. I knew it was in that happy
Yep.
little range
Yeah,
there.
it's in the zone.
Right. Less than 6.5 inches, which is really the ticket, if for like happy pocketable sizes, without
Yep.
going to something like, one of the really compact phones like the Asus Zenfone 10, I believe. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I love the size, especially paired with, again, the 15 Pro. They're just a nice, like, the Goldilocks size of phone, if you will. And so this
Agree.
was my first experience with the Tensor 3. And again, I really enjoyed using this phone. It's fast enough. It's not a rocket ship compared to like a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 phone with a S ton of RAM.
Right. Right.
I mean, you definitely feel the difference there, but as you would expect, a fantastic camera, and there's something to be said too for just it's almost like Google giving you a present when you get the feature drops for Pixel owners. They're
That's
just
very true.
adding features to your phone, and how often does that happen with other phones? It just
D-
doesn't.
did you download the December Pixel drop, the feature drop yet?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so have you had a chance to play with the nighttime video enhancement?
That's only for the Pixel 8 Pro.
Oh, oh, okay.
It's not on the Pixel 8. But I
That's
did
my
shoot.
bad. Sorry.
So the county that I live in, there's like 4 different Christmas parades, and the tiny town that I live in actually has the largest Christmas parade. So I did get a
Hmm.
chance to shoot that with especially photos are awesome, minus the fact that it doesn't have a great telephoto. Like I mean, that's really what you're
Right.
missing out compared to the 8 Pro, amongst a few
Yeah.
other things. But yep, I just I can't stress enough, at least for me, like the size of it is just so nice. Actually, the case that this is the official Google case as well. This TPU case from them is like very soft, very pleasant. I don't really miss
Yeah.
using it naked like I choose to do a lot of times with phones. So it's been a very pleasant
Yeah.
experience. And I think right now it's on the Pixel 8 at least. I think until December 31st, so probably about when this comes out or a little bit after it. It's on sale for like
Yeah.
400,
Probably.
450, so $60, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that
It's a pretty
price,
good
I
deal.
mean, it's a really good deal. And I mean, if you're a like as an example, I just as Adam mentioned, I ordered the Pixel 8 Pro, and if you're a Google One subscriber, you can get excuse me, a significant discount. I think if you're a YouTube Premium um, subscriber, they're offering you like another 100 or $125 off of the
That
sale
also
price.
sounds right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's you can get really good deals on I think all of the Pixel series right now. So it's a good time if you're looking for one to shop. And honestly, I think even though I did order the Pixel 8 Pro, I will miss the size of the Pixel 8.
Agree.
And
Agree.
I think I'll enjoy some of the added features of the Pixel 8 Pro. But I mean, I could live with the Pixel 8 all day. I mean, I had a Pixel 6, not a 6 Pro, and I had that for nearly 2 years, and I enjoyed it. So this is just this is my happy place size wise with phones, and when I'm back to
Yeah.
there with an Android phone, I've enjoyed it. So that's my third one.
Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give my third one a little bit of a yada yada. Not too much, but just because we've already talked about it a couple of times on this
Hmm.
podcast before. But my last one is the host of Skippy, the the Lenovo Yoga 9i
Mm.
laptop. And the main reason that I'm mentioning this one is because in 2023 I went on a lot of trips to New
Good.
York and Korea and Hawaii, and every single trip I went to, as long as I had this laptop, this was the laptop I took with me. Um, and like Abby Greengart asked me, like, how's the battery life on that? And I'm just like, you know what? It's not great, but it's good enough. Like, no, I mean, really,
I know with two displays,
it was
you can't expect it to have amazing battery
with
life.
with two displays, it's really hard. And it's not bad for using on an airplane. It's not great, but it's not bad.
Mm.
But just in general, like just having the two displays in that top bottom configuration.
Hmm.
Just the other day, the electricians came to my house and replaced my panel, so I was without power for like 5 hours. And this is the laptop that I did my job on. And did I need an Anchor battery? I'm doubling it up again. Did I need an Anchor battery to support it? Yes, I did. But um, it's for my workflow, whether I'm writing, whether I'm editing, or whether I'm doing stuff for this podcast. I need that second screen at
Mm.
least. And so yeah, that's what mine is. And again, I've talked about this a couple different times on the podcast, so um I'm not going to go on and on about it, but
Well, I think
this has been like the most amazing machine for me.
I think the way to this is
And
this makes it kind of fun, right? You
okay.
started off your list or your three devices or list of devices with talking about a Swiss Army knife, right?
Yep,
And
sort of.
yeah, kind of. And I feel like t- to me anyway, this the Legion 9i, is that right?
Yeah, Legion
No,
9 no,
no, I'm sorry.
Lenovo Yoga 9i.
Yoga, there is a
Yes,
Legion 9i as well.
there
So
is. There
I'm
is.
so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
confused. But to me, because of the different postures, the fact that it can be like a 17-inch laptop, it can be a 12 and a half inch screen, is
Mhm.
like the Swiss Army knife of laptops.
Yeah. And by the way, as much as I love this laptop, I'm going to give a little spoiler for CES. There is a company that is bringing a
Mm.
competitor to this laptop that, honestly, from the briefing I got, is going to pants Lenovo and take its lunch money. So stay tuned for that. I guarantee you, once I see this thing in person, I will not be able to stop talking about it.
Mm.
But I think, yeah. But for now, Lenovo is the leader here. So, um, but yeah, there's another computer from another company coming that's gonna slap it like a little girl. Anyway, that was probably inappropriate to say on
Oh, that
Christmas.
was
So
terrible, but that's okay.
it was. It was.
I
All
told you,
right.
Christmas
So
can be a dark holiday. I mean, you just
it
showed it
is.
right there. Mm.
Let's go. Let's go dance around a tree naked on a moonlight and go ahead and wrap up this podcast. So anyway, from us to you, happy holidays. If you celebrate, any of the holidays that are prevalent in December, I'm not going to try to list them all, but
Kwanzaa,
yeah, well, okay,
Hanukkah,
I guess we
or
are going to start
fe-
listing them all.
my
So
favorite, Festivus,
Festivus for the
the
rest of
holiday
us,
for the
of
rest of
course.
us. I mean, you've already said yada
Yeah,
yada, so I thought I had to bring it up.
that's true. That's true. So, anyway, from us to you, happy holidays. And, as an extra little gift to you, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. You know what to do if you like the video. You know what to do if you want to subscribe to the video. So, I'm just going to say from us to you, thank you for listening. Happy holidays. And thank you for giving us the benefit of the doubt.